Welcome to Neighborhood Services and Education Committee. I'm Sylvia Arenas, council member for District 8 and also your chair for today. Can we please take quorum or take roll for quorum?
Jimenez, Cohen,
Here.
Esparza,
Here.
Carrasco, Arenas.
Here.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So we are going to move right along. And since we don't have anything on our, oh yes, we do have an item on our work plan, and I think we need to go to our community comments first.
Blair Beekman.
Hi, Blair Beekman here. Thanks for the meeting today. You're going to have for this item, I think, work plan issues coming up and how to deal with the commission process for seniors, basically. And this item is of interest to me because I know Councilperson Carrasco has been working so hard to try to get senior services for at the rec department within District 5. And in comparison to have as good as services as what many parts of the city can offer. I hope this can be a long-term legacy of Councilperson Carrasco, that we can work on this issue now and really make clear what can be good practices for seniors in the future of community centers in D5. And I guess that's about all. Good luck in those sort of efforts with this item this fall. Thank you.
Back to the committee.
Move to drop.
Do I have a second? Great. Roll call, please.
I'm sorry, Chair. This is
Yeah.
Carrasco. So
Hi,
sorry,
Mhm.
hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Mhm.
Okay, great, thank you. And I apologize, I was really struggling with getting on Zoom. Would you please repeat the motion on the floor?
I'll repeat it. We're on the item review of the work plan, number 1, to drop the park deficiencies and needs mapping status report.
Oh, okay, thank you. I just in case the senior commission, am I too late on that?
That's on consent right after this.
Okay, thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, let's go ahead and do roll call.
Cohen,
Aye.
Esparza,
Yes.
Carrasco,
Aye.
Arenas.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wonderful. That moves us into that item, Councilmember Carrasco, that you're interested in, and this is the consent calendar. First, we're going to hear public comment.
Blair Beekman.
Hi, this is Blair Beekman. I'm very, very sorry for confusing the items. My public comment on the last item was meant for this item. I'm very sorry for the confusion. Thank you for your time.
Back to the committee.
Perfect. Councilmember Carrasco, I don't see your hand up. Did you want to speak on this item?
You know, I don't know where the connection or the lack of synchronization is happening, because it's my hand is up on my side.
Oh my gosh.
But no, I've been struggling with the connection. So I wanted to pull the senior and Parks Commission report. Can I speak on that now?
Yes, go.
Okay, so this is for staff. I want to thank you for the extensive work and the support that you're giving the commissioners. Important work, as you all know. This is the bread and butter of a lot of the work that we do in order to improve the quality of life for our residents. I have a concern regarding the very extensive report from the senior commission. And if there's someone that can address that, I'd like to just ask a few questions.
Yeah, Jeremy Schaffner, who leads the commission from the Park and Rec staff, is coming down to the dais.
Thank you. So I'll go ahead and get started. As I'm looking at the senior commission report, there's a lot of activities and a lot of work that I see on there. And I wanted to get a sense of who's carrying it out or who will be carrying out that extensive list of activities in order for that kind of work to get done, which I think is really important work. Our seniors are among the most vulnerable of our community members, and we need to make sure that as we look at a family-friendly city, that it's newborns or even prenatal, all the way to those hopefully enjoying their golden years. And so I've been very concerned about senior services and senior outreach. So if you could give me some indication as to who would be looking or overseeing that work.
Good afternoon, Councilmember Carrasco. Jeremy Schaffner, Parks, Recreation, and Neighborhood Services, Recreation Superintendent. One of the areas that we support is our Senior Commission within our Senior Services Program. As a result of that, it is our team, myself directly, along with a team of Senior Services staff that will facilitate their monthly meetings, along with supporting them in the completion of their work plan over the year. We have done this in previous, and so depending on the area of emphasis, we would engage other departments, other jurisdictions for areas directly involved with PRNS around programming, the implementation of the age-friendly action plan, and areas related to that. We would have direct support and oversight and support our commission in the initiatives and work plan that they've developed and voted upon.
So in terms of the actual work itself, that's our staff that would be doing that?
The commissioners typically will take on some of the areas. They will then develop smaller teams to work through those items. For areas that our staff do get involved with, we do get involved with from a PRNS standpoint, or we work with the departments that relate to that. So I will use digital literacy will be a component that many of our team will currently focus on under the age friendly, along with collaboration with the library and other jurisdictions, including Santa Clara County, for something such as Vision Zero that's called out. And as also a perspective of one of our commissioners, we would then coordinate with DOT on those efforts, given that we are not the experts in that field.
So I'll give you an example. For example, I'm trying to understand how the other work gets done. Digital inclusion, I understand that's very techy, and so we need staff to be involved with that. But monitoring COVID conditions, the housing issues that they've called out, showcasing council districts, community centers to bring awareness to programming, connecting with Emma Push Park to identify their adult programs, that kind of work. Is that the commissioners that are actually going to be doing that, or do we have staff that's actually carrying out that workload?
It is a combination of both. If I could back up to the COVID-19, so that would be an education process. We would work with our Office of Emergency Management and other members within the city to provide resources and update our older adults on the status of the pandemic and how it affects our older adult population. In regards to the, if you'd help me with the other areas that you were speaking on so I can make sure to speak to those.
For instance, the housing issues that they've called out, I mean, that's just one. Under respect and social inclusion and social participation, there's quite a number of items that I'm just trying to understand how commissioners are going to carry out such what I consider to be kind of a heavy load for commissioners. I don't doubt that they have the energy and the will, but I also know that some of this work I think should be carried out by city staff.
Absolutely.
Disaster, here's an example: disaster preparedness, presentation from partner agencies, like who's going to coordinate those partnerships and who's going to coordinate the where, what, how, and how often.
So in regards to disaster preparedness, our staff, myself, our recreation supervisor, our other administrative staff within senior services will reach out to Office of Emergency Management to then have them come and participate in the commission meetings to do presentations and then look for opportunities to do presentations to our older adults at the community centers. In regards to housing, we would work with housing to identify representatives from housing that would be able to come to the commission and develop through the items of concern that the commission has identified and then work with their staff to work through those components. And then as far as you'd referenced the senior commission attendance at the community centers and community center spotlight, one of our priorities as discussed with the commission is to create awareness and familiarity with our community center. Many of the commission haven't been in our community centers for multiple years, and so we're working to integrate them back into our community center operations and senior service programs to create familiarity as they are a large advocate and proponent for those programs. And so what we're looking to do that is as they return to in-person, we will actually bring them out to the community centers, engage with the communities, see the centers, see the programs, see the participants to create that open dialogue that they are representing.
I'll, I wish that in the workload, in the work report, that we had seen a little bit more engagement with outside of the community centers and actually in the local senior living centers. I have, numerous senior living facilities that house many seniors that don't get to the community centers. They don't have transportation. They can't walk there. They don't drive anymore. And so these folks have expressed to me how isolated they feel from everything else that's happening in the city. And I have voiced this previously at our NSC meetings, and I've also voiced it at council, that our seniors are feeling very, there's a big demographic of seniors that are feeling very left out.
Councilmember Carrasco, this is Maria de Leon, Deputy Director with PRNS. We understand that this is a priority for you, especially in your district and overall citywide. But we have, I just wanted to share with you some outreach efforts that we're doing to address some of your concerns. We have staff passing out flyers and reaching out to our community members through various outreach efforts, not only through social media, but we have staff going out to Guadalupe Parish Church and working and passing out flyers and connecting with the community after Mass. We're also doing neighborhood canvassing, where we're going out and dropping flyers out at the homes that are neighboring the community center. We're also doing outreach at the senior living facilities, specifically the ones that you had recommended and talked to us about. And we're also going out to the Emma Prush Farmers Market, promoting our programs and activities, trying to do some outreach to our seniors. So in addition to that, our staff is promoting our senior programmings out at the brown bag distribution. That's once a month. So we've increased our outreach efforts to our seniors, especially those that don't have social media, in an effort to get them to inform them of our services out at Mayfair.
Maria, by the way, thank you so much for doing that. You know that, as you said, it has been a priority of mine. More than anything, it's because of the seriousness of isolation and the consequences of it. So I really appreciate that you've got your team out there and providing much needed services, and especially the information that they need in order to get the services. So that's it for me, Chair. I wanted to just understand how we were going to provide services to those senior living centers and how the work is going to get done. It sounds like it's a combo of staff as well as commissioners. Again, I don't doubt that our commissioners have, the will and the enthusiasm and the energy. I'm just, wanting to make sure that they're going to have the support from staff so that that work plan can actually get completed.
Yeah, so we have, aside from our senior services team who actually plans and organizes these classes and activities out at the community centers. We have our gerontology specialists that are out at the community centers providing these services, as well as our recreation supervisors to ensure that these services are out there, getting facilitated, that they're reaching out to the community. So in terms of our staff ensuring that these services go out, we have our senior services team, we have our gerontology specialists, and our recreation supervisors to monitor and to ensure that these programs take place.
Yeah, and so the last thing I'm going to add is that, again, for many of our seniors who are living, especially in the facilities, they're bound by different limitations that they have, and so they don't really leave their living facilities, and they're also interested in engaging in digital literacy, more than anything in dance and movement and health related activities. So, I'm hoping that as we continue to build out the services for our seniors, that we're also looking to see how we make it more accessible. And I've always said to my team, you don't need to get, folks to you. You need to go to where the folks are. And so, where they live and where they are experiencing life, I think is worthwhile exploring so that we can provide services right there on site versus making them come to us at the community centers. And I hope that we'll start truly talking about how we provide, whether it's through third parties or through our own services, but how we actually go out to the community and provide these services where we already know where the seniors live. There's 2, 3, 4, 500 seniors sometimes in one senior living facility. So there's a large audience that we don't need to look for. They're there already.
Yes, Councilmember Carrasco, I understand. Our staff is thinking outside the box and looking at different ways we can get our services out to the community. We did a pilot program. We're working on a pilot program to do that off of Valley Palm Apartments. We developed a contract to do program services at the site. And we're also reaching out to some of the senior residential living facilities. First of all, to see if they would be open. Many of them have programs and services there already and activities. So we have to ask if they want us there. And if they do, we'll develop a contract and we'll provide services out of there, so long as there's a mutual agreement and mutually beneficial for our residents, our staff, and the management company at these facilities. So we are thinking outside the box. We are going to out and providing services off-site. We did that this summer at Valley Palms, and we want to pursue that from this point on.
Great, thank you. Gracias, Maria. Thank you, Chair.
And would you like to make a motion, Councilmember?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept the report under, what is it, the one that I pulled. Yes.
I'll second.
Okay. I think that's an acceptable motion. We'll do the roll call.
Cohen,
Aye.
Esparza,
Yes.
Carrasco,
Aye.
Arenas.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, so we are going to move into reports to the committee. This is item D, and we'll start with item D1, which is City Initiatives Roadmap, COVID-19 related food distribution expenditures, and audit report. And so I'm guessing we have Joe, our auditor, potentially presenting. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Joe Royce, City Auditor. I'm here with Stephanie Noble and Michelle Malari from my office. We're also in the box are Luz Capresi-Howe from the Finance Department and Neil Rufino from Parks, Recreation, Neighborhood Services. We're here to present our audit of COVID-19 food distribution expenditures. The COVID-19 pandemic created an unprecedented demand for emergency services, and at the start of the emergency, Santa Clara County requested that the city provide food necessities throughout the county. The city coordinated a network of food providers to feed vulnerable county residents from 2020 into 2021 and the city has continued to coordinate food services within city limits throughout the emergency. Before the pandemic, the city had limited experience providing food services. Its primary experience was through the the Senior Nutrition Program, which provided around 4,000 meals per week. Staff estimated that the city needed to increase the number of weekly meals by 1.3 million to meet demand from the pandemic. The city used the general fund and federal relief dollars to significantly expand its food distribution efforts. Each funding source allows money for food distribution, but funding rules vary on target populations, expenditure deadlines, and requirements around the documentation and procurement. The Administration Division of Parks, Recreation, Neighborhood Services, or PRNS, has managed the city's food distribution efforts since it was transitioned out of the Emergency Operations Center in summer of 2021. The city also created a finance recovery group to oversee reporting and compliance of the federal and state grants received by the city during the pandemic. The objective of this audit was to review the transparency and accountability of food distribution expenditures during the pandemic. We had 3 findings. The first finding is that the city spent $79.3 million on food distribution. Within the $79.3 million, $64.7 million went toward direct food assistance, with $14.6 million for food boxings to support Second Harvest of Silicon Valley. An additional $2.8 million went toward necessities distribution, such as diapers, and about $500,000 went toward other expenses, including supplies, materials, and others. Overall, from the start of the pandemic through June of 2022, the city spent about $82.6 million on food and necessities distribution. The city used several federal funding sources, including coronavirus relief funds, American Rescue Plan Act funds, funds from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, and the city's general fund. The exhibit on the screen shows the flow of funds from these sources to the location, program, and target populations that are identified in the different food contracts. Overall, the city contracted with 20 different vendors for food distribution, and the contract specified target populations within the city and county most affected by COVID-19, either directly or indirectly. Based on a goal of feeding our most vulnerable, city staff focused contracts on providing food to target populations that are medically at risk, seniors, low-income families, people in temporary shelters, and families experiencing job loss. Vendors reported their meal and grocery counts to the city, and based on available data, vendors report that between March of 2020 and December of 2021, they distributed around 6.5 million meals, 13.8 million pounds of groceries, and 762,000 grocery boxes. Our second finding was that the city should gather additional documentation to corroborate service delivery and support the city's claims to federal funds. As noted, the city used various federal funding sources for food distribution services. Each of the federal sources are subject to review by federal granting agencies. The city has been working to document all expenditures in preparation for such reviews. We found that the city faced challenges in contract development and management. Challenges stem from the immediate need of the emergency, the different timing and ambiguity of requirements from federal funding sources, and limited staff resources. I'd also like to note that requirements vary by funding source. At the time of the audit, the city had not fully documented that food contracts followed some federal procurement requirements. For example, we noted that for competitively bid contracts for food distribution, the city appears to have met many of the procurement guidelines outlined in federal rules, and it largely transitioned toward competitive awards as required by FEMA, but at the time of the audit had not documented compliance with all federal requirements. Also, the city had not fully documented justifications for all non-competitive procurements. Multiple organizations that held advisory positions on the Food Distribution Steering Committee or Nonprofit Leadership Council received sole source contracts. These bodies were convened to assist the city in its food distribution efforts. The city should address any appearances of conflict of interest by documenting such decisions around vendor selections. Overall, to help ensure the city met procurement requirements for its various funding sources, we recommend the city collect additional documentation on steps taken during competitive and non-competitive procurements. We also noted areas where the city should gather additional documentation on services reported by vendors. Although the city received invoices and performance reports from vendors, the city did not generally corroborate information in performance reports by requesting backup documentation, such as intake forms or delivery receipts. Grant management best practices recommend maintaining controls for contract compliance, including procedures to ensure the reliability of third-party information. So we recommend that PRNS, in coordination with the Finance Recovery Group, collect collect sample documentation to verify service delivery, and reduce the potential for question costs from grant agencies. The last finding is that updating emergency guidance can prepare the city for future emergencies. The Emergency Operations Plan, or EOP, outlines the city's emergency response and assigns city departments with roles and responsibilities during the response and recovery phases of an emergency. However, the EOP provides limited guidance on procurements using federal funds or for contract management. Purchasing staff in the Department of Finance created tools during the emergency to help the city meet federal requirements, but they were not consistently used, and staff attribute this to the timing of their development. We recommend formalizing the emergency procurement tools developed by purchasing into the EOP to help ensure compliance with federal funding rules in future emergencies and reducing the kind of back-end documentation work that staff are currently undertaking. We also found that staff followed PRNS guidelines and contract monitoring, but those guidelines do not reflect all requirements for federal grants and best practices for contract management. Other city departments with more experience managing federal grants have more detailed procedures to monitor contracts, including reviewing and saving backup documentation for the vendor's expenses, checking processes and controls, and observing operations in action to identify areas of noncompliance. The EOP does not offer or refer to guidance on monitoring vendors contracted to provide services to residents affected by an emergency, and we should note that contract management best practices should apply in both emergency and non-emergency circumstances. So we recommend the administration include a reference to guidance supporting contract monitoring for federal grant compliance within the EOP. This will help ensure resources go toward their intended purpose and that the city meets federal requirements for managing grant recipients during an emergency. Additionally, we recommend that PRNS update its contract monitoring guidance to clarify expectations around vendor site visits and service validation. This update should include matching vendor records against invoices or submitted service reports to corroborate overall reported service delivery, as well as the eligibility of population served. Overall, the report has 5 recommendations to improve the documentation and procedures around emergency procurement and contract monitoring. I'd like to thank the Departments of Park, Recreation, Neighborhood Services, and the Finance Department, the Office of Emergency Management, City Attorney's Office, and the Budget Office. The report is available on our website. Now I'd like to ask that you accept the report and cross-reference the November 1st City Council meeting, and I'll turn it over to the administration for their response.
Thank you, Joe. Good afternoon, Luz Cofresi-Howe, Assistant Director of Finance for the city, and thank you, council members and Chair Arenas. The administration really appreciates all the hard work that the city auditor has put into this, a very important review of our practices during the COVID-19 pandemic and how we were able to get all this food out to folks, as well as manage the very important manage the grants as best that we could. The administration does agree with all the findings, the 3 findings, and the administration also has responded to all the recommendations, along with scope of work and timeline is included in the document, the yellow pages in the back of the audit report. And with that, I will turn it over to Neil Ruffino if you have any comments.
Thanks, Luz. Neil Ruffino, Assistant Director of Parks, Recreation, Neighborhood Services. Again, I want to thank the team. I thank Joe and his office for working with us on the audit here. I think over the years, as the council heard the updates on the food service program, I think everyone understands the challenge and the scope of work that the department and many of the city staff put forward to get food out to the most needy, not just in the city of San Jose, but across the county. And so, as Luz mentioned, we agreed with all the recommendations that were put forward, and we have put forward the timelines for when we feel we can accomplish this. And in general, we feel that this was a good report that continuously helps us improve our processes, not just during the emergency times, but to carry forward in terms of how we manage and operate our grants on a regular basis. So. We are both here open for any questions that the council may have.
Great, thank you for the presentation. We're going to go to public comment before I go to my colleagues.
Blair Beekman.
Hi, Blair Beekman here. Thanks a lot for this item. thank you for a clarification on the previous item by Councilperson Carrasco that it's seniors within their senior centers that really needs consideration at this time. Thank you for that clarification, Councilperson Carrasco. For this item, just a thank you in talking about food distribution issues in this era of COVID and moving out of COVID. How will we be feeding people? Like I've been saying to yourselves, I've been making a move and a transition to San Diego at this time, and I've interestingly learned that about 70% of their children going to schools are on the free lunch program now. That's 70% of like a 1.5 million population. That's a large number. So this is an important item. And it's nice to pass along, being in San Diego, you know, the good work that you do in San Jose. They have a good auditing department down in San Jose that may be of interest to yourselves. It'll be nice to pass along things what they do well and what they're doing. So thanks a lot for this item.
Back to the committee.
Great, thank you. So we are going to, I don't see any hands. Oh, no, I do. I apologize. Councilmember Esparza, please.
Move to accept the report.
Perfect. Do I have a second?
Second.
Wonderful. Let's roll call, please.
Cohen, Esparza,
Yes.
Carrasco,
Aye.
Arenas.
Aye.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, this leads us to our next item. And this is, excuse me, this is item D2, which is City Initiatives Roadmap, the Children and Youth Services Master Plan Status Report, for those of you following us at home. Welcome, and go ahead and begin your presentation.
All right, thank you, Chair. As staff enters the box, I just kind of frame this with a couple of comments. As you know, we received council direction to develop a children and youth master plan. A lot of this work coming from budget recommendations coming from Councilmember Carrasco, yourself, Chair Arenas, through NSC. And I'm glad to report that we are well underway in terms of development of this master plan. We've convened a cross-sector of community leadership in this space. That this process is actually in motion now as we speak. In fact, we just had our most recent Community Advisory Task Force meeting yesterday. Very well attended. The discussion has been very robust. So many partners are leaning into this work. We have over 50 stakeholders that not only serve on this advisory task force, but in addition to that, there's a very robust community engagement process where we're reaching out, not just to kind of capture the voice of those that typically speak, but especially those that typically do not speak. And our whole focus and goal here, our end goal here, is to develop a cradle to career youth services master plan that'll create opportunity pathways for our young people here in San Jose. And so with that, let me turn it over to Laura and Maria and for the presentation.
Thank you, Angel. Good afternoon, council members. Laura Buzo, assistant to the city manager in the city manager's office. It is my pleasure to be here this afternoon to provide you and the public a status update on the Children Youth Services Master Plan for the City of San Jose. I would like to provide you a brief background and context on how we got to this point. In the mayor's June 2021 budget message, the city manager's office was directed to develop a comprehensive cradle to career youth development master plan, now referred to as the Children Youth Services Master Plan. The city council recognized that children, youth, and young people, especially from specific zip codes, who were already experiencing socioeconomic challenges, were disproportionately impacted by the pandemic, compounding their situation. Consequently, they're facing unsurmountable difficulties and barriers to economic recovery and limited improvements in their health, physical, mental, and social emotional well-being. Unfortunately, we don't know the long-term impact of the pandemic on our most vulnerable children, youth, and their families. It is therefore critically important for the future of San Jose that the city leads the way, as well as partners with all sectors of the community, to uproot the root causes of socioeconomic disparities as a result of systemic racism, structural barriers, persistent inequities, and generational trauma. Collectively, we can change the narrative for low-income, underserved, and marginalized children and youth by improving their quality of life and developmental trajectory. Together, we can ensure that a person's race, ethnic, or socioeconomic background, family history, LGBTQ+ identity, or zip code of residence will not be a determining factor in their access to resources and/or opportunity pathways that can support and guide their success in their home, school, and community from cradle to career. As we develop the Children Youth Master Plan, we are ensuring alignment with the following: the Education and Digital Literacy Strategy, the San Jose Education Initiative, also known as the Education Policy 0-30, the City of San Jose Bill of Rights for Children and Youth, and the recently completed audit report from the Auditor's Office. In addition, the master plan is being informed by 2 joint special meetings on child well-being with the City of San Jose, NSC, and the Committee of the Whole and the County of Santa Clara Children's, Seniors, and Families Committee. The master plan is also informed by numerous conversations held with community partners and city staff during the development of the spending plan for the $10.5 million of ARP, American Rescue Plan funds for Children and Youth Services, which was approved by City Council on April 26th of this year. Next slide. City staff recognize the importance of a whole child approach, supporting a child's development from birth to adulthood across systems and in partnership with all those that touch a child and youth and their families. Therefore, through a racial equity lens and collective impact, the City of San Jose Children and Youth Services Master Plan will provide a strategic framework and approach to changing the narrative for many of the youth in our community. The master plan will include guidance on policy priorities, investments, and alignment of programs. As we mentioned, also operationalizing the City of San Jose Bill of Rights for Children and Youth, which up to this point have been aspirational. We will also develop a strategic, coordinated, and responsive approach to ensure a safety net for children and youth and their families, provide a continuum of support for children and youth from cradle to career, address the systemic racism, structural barriers, persistent inequities, and generational trauma, as well as develop long-term sustainable impact and measurable outcomes. The overarching goal of the master plan is to create and expand pathways and supports from cradle to career for all San Jose children, youth, and young adults from birth through age 24. It is also the vision that all children and youth and young adults, particularly those most vulnerable, have increased opportunities to gain 21st century skills that lead to better health outcomes, sustainable employment, and a competitive living wage so they can live and thrive in this community. The City Manager's Office, in partnership with the Library, Parks, Recreation, and Neighborhood Services, Office of Economic Development, Office of Racial Equity, and other department staff, are currently in the process of developing the master plan. We have made some significant milestones over the course of this fiscal year. We've developed a process and timeline, established committees and advisories, identified consultants, identified community engagement strategies. The master plan will be informed by the Bill of Rights that I just mentioned, as well as primary data collected through focus groups, interviews, youth town halls, parent-caregiver town hall, and a citywide survey. We will also be collecting, reviewing, analyzing national, county, city, and local research reports to inform us of current trends and outcome data. We will also be reviewing literature and other published materials related to the topics of youth development, college and career pathways, family support. We will also be leveraging and integrating the work of Santa Clara County and its countywide CAS partners. The county has engaged community stakeholders, families throughout the county to develop a single system of support to ensure a no wrong door entry for services. We are also leveraging the work of other city-led initiatives and efforts that have done extensive outreach and community engagement. For example, integrating the data and community input collected through the Mayor's Gang Prevention Task Force, strategic planning process, COVID-19 pandemic, community and economic recovery task force, Project Hope, just to name a few. To move the work forward, the City Manager's Office has created a team structure of committees and advisories to provide input, recommendations, guidance, and support in the design and development of the master plan. In your packet, you have attachment A, which includes more information on the team structure. As you can see here in the visual, the team structure includes a mayor, city council, and NSC, which provide guidance and direction on policy and budget priorities. To the far left is the executive committee, comprised of city department directors and program staff. We have a community advisory comprised of county departments, city staff, community-based organizations, educational leaders, parents, caregivers, and young people. We have highly engaged community advisory members. We have had 50+ individuals participating, representing diverse organizations from the city and the county. The list of community advisory members is provided in attachment B of your packet. We also have a CAS technical committee comprised of Santa Clara County departments, CAS partners, and city staff that are working on a parallel process to develop a coordinated system of care with a San Jose focus. We're building this coordinated system of care within and across city departments and externally with community partners. We recognize that children and youth cannot be expected to succeed in their home, school, and community if they're worried about their next meal or experiencing mental health concerns. We're also engaging parents, caregivers of diverse perspectives while ensuring we're engaging families from underserved communities disproportionately impacted by the pandemic through our parent and caregiver advisory. We are also working very closely with the Youth Commission. We're also recognizing the importance of engaging youth with diverse lived experiences that are often not involved in other supports or are living in marginalized communities. We're also leveraging the work that has been undertaken by PRNS, the Mayor's Gang Prevention Task Force, and the county by partnering with consultants, research development associates, and collective impact solutions. Both consultants are providing guidance, evaluation support, and expertise to inform, design, and develop the master plan. As part of our team structure, as Angel had mentioned, we've established monthly meetings. We've had 3 meetings up to this point. In addition, we have scheduled brainstorming sessions to provide our community partners in a small group setting the opportunity to shape and provide input and guidance on the priority areas for the focus groups, the empathy interviews, and the citywide survey. Again, we have had diverse representation in these sessions, and you have listed here the brainstorming sessions that we held. Throughout the development of the Children and Youth Master Plan, we are steadfast in our commitment to uplifting the diverse voices and lived experiences of children, youth, parents, caregivers, and we are doing this in partnership with community stakeholders. Therefore, the community engagement listening sessions will include diverse representations listed here on the screen. Next slide. We have a number of community engagement activities and listening sessions planned between October 24th and November 18th to gain a greater understanding of the system and structural barriers that create obstacles to accessing resources and supports, and to hear from youth and their families on their strengths, their hopes and dreams, as well as their needs. As you see here, we have planned 3 youth town halls. We currently have 3 confirmed, 2 with the Youth Commission, which will be in person and virtual. And we're also working with PRNS to engage young people that tend not to have resources and or are connected to schools or other supports. We're currently in the process of finalizing the details of these town halls and will make the information available to city council members and the public. We're also hosting a parent caregiver town hall with our advisory members and city departments. We're in the process of developing our citywide survey, which will be available in multiple languages. We're also in the process of planning for our focus group and empathy interviews, which we will be conducting with families, youth, young adults, service providers, city department directors, program staff, educational leaders, and county partners. We're also convening parent caregivers, particularly from low-income, underserved, and marginalized communities, to co-design with us the master plan through our advisory, through our parent and caregiver advisory. As mentioned, we're also partnering closely with the Youth Commission, attending their monthly meetings. And once the master plan is complete and approved, we will be exploring with them in identifying recommendations within the master plan to include in their work plan for next fiscal year. And here's a timeline overview. As mentioned, we're currently developing our focus group interviews and citywide survey. Our goal is to have those complete by within the next 2 weeks. As mentioned, between October 24th and November 18, we will be out in community, soliciting community input and feedback. In December, we will develop a summary and analysis of the findings from the community conversations and engagement activities. We will have a draft of the master plan in mid-December. Recognizing that we have a new mayor and city council in January, we will take some time to get them up to speed on the work that we have done up to that point and provide them an opportunity to provide input and feedback. Our goal is to present to city council in late March, early April to coincide with the month of the young child, the final Children Youth Services Master Plan. Next slide. On behalf of myself, Angel Rios, Deputy City Manager, and the families, children, and youth of San Jose, I would like to thank city staff and community partners that have been beyond supportive and collaborative and have joined us in this journey. We have quite a bit of work ahead, but we are confident that we will have a Children Youth Services Master Plan that will demonstrate what is possible when families, city staff, and partners across systems work together to ensure that every child, youth, and young person has the resources, supports, guidance, and safety net to realize their hopes and dreams. These are the organizations and community stakeholders that are part of the executive committee and community advisory. This is not an exhaustive list, as we will be partnering with other organizations through our engagement activities over the coming months. This is the end of our presentation, and welcome your comments and questions.
Thank you, Laura, for such a wonderful presentation. We're first going to go to public comment.
Blair Beekman.
Hi, Blair Beekman here. I guess first to again clarify myself, it's San Diego's offering 70% of children in their free lunch program in their school systems. 70% of the children in San Diego. That's how it works there. That's a lot. To go on to this item, thank you that for your work on this item, and thank you that the previous Children Youth Bill of Rights item at City Council a few weeks ago. You guys spent a long time on that item. It was really nice, and to try to mention the Bill of Rights issues and what kids can be working on and thinking about. I really hope you can learn how to include, the ideas of accountability and civil protections and civil rights ideas that can be a part of the digital literacy future. It's not just digital literacy. I feel that to offer that, along with the concepts of what are their civil rights and civil protections, that's building sustainability, and that's building a well-rounded person for the future of our democracy. And those are important concepts to learn. good luck how we can make those sort of efforts. That's why the work I'm a part of, I think, is so interesting and hopeful and positive, and how it can help in many parts of our lives. And this is one of them. That just a good luck with this program. And to quickly conclude, I might have to leave a bit early today, so I just wanted to comment that I think the ideas of the mayor going to Egypt can be ideas of a long-term legacy for energy programs. And from that, I hope he can offer the concepts of women's rights issues and be mindful of those subjects and know how to talk about it when he's there. Thank you very much.
Caller ending in 1367.
Yes, this is Lillian from District 3, formerly District 6. You mentioned support for parents and caregivers and those organizations. I'm curious when your town hall meeting will be for the parent caregiver. You also mentioned something about young adults. So in the master plan, I'm hoping to see something in regards to the parent caregiver, the individual that is disabled, talking about young adults with autism that can interact a little bit more at the senior centers. There's a real lack of that currently. Thank you so much.
Back to the committee.
Thank you. Not seeing any hands, I'm just going to begin with some comments. First of all, just to thank you for all of the work that you've been doing. I don't know if you noticed, but I could not stop grinning this whole time that you've been presenting, because this is just music to my ears. We've all on NSC been contributing to ensuring that our children and our youth have more than what they have had in the past, and that they have what they need in order to be successful and to thrive in San Jose. And so I love this. I love that you have all of these key elements, like the Bill of Rights and the audit, the Bill of Rights, the Child and Youth Master Plan concept in there. And I know that we've already been working on logic models in different departments as applicable. And we're going to be seeing some very long-term investments, I'm hoping. And ultimately, what I would love to see from this is generational change, that we are creating generational change for our folks and providing opportunities. One of the things that I've always envisioned, and I don't know how this falls, I know this is very new. This is very, for the beginning of this process, this is what I'm going to talk about is kind of at the middle or tail end, but I'd love for us to have some kind of plan that also includes how do we acquire Medi-Cal reimbursement so that we can have sustainability within our programs, and that we don't have to be depending on people paying for a service that they absolutely need, but they can't afford. So how will that work into, and I completely understand that right now the phase is like, let's collect information, let's learn about the vision and the desires and the wants of our community. But just thinking ahead, how do you envision that in being integrated into the process?
Thank you, Councilmember Arenas. As you know, having come from First 5 Santa Clara County, we had MA as staff and as and for our funded agencies. And so I definitely think that there's an opportunity there. I think with the services that we are looking to incorporate through our throughout the city and as an organization, providing referrals to supportive services for families and young people, I think there's an opportunity to be a MA billing agency, whether it's us directly or through funded agencies. As you know, we would have to work pretty closely with the county to
Right.
have them assist us in that process because there is considerable training involved for both the agency as well as for staff. And so I definitely see that there's an opportunity for that, especially if we continue to build out our CAS system
Mhm.
in partnership with the county.
That's wonderful. Would you be able to reflect that somehow in the plan so that when the time comes to integrate that, um, also with CAST, I know that that's a pathway or an opportunity for the county to also adhere to some of what is coming down through the state, through CalAIM and this reorganization of how we provide services to our community. Um, or at least the county provides services to the community. And we're doing the same in essence without being mandated by the state. We are also reviewing the same concepts and moving in the right direction. Hello? Oh, so, okay. So I just think it's a really good opportunity for us to begin to think about how to leverage that rather than maybe at the end when we have our youth and master plan all done and ready to implement. And now we have to take a look at how do we integrate, how do we change our funded or contracts so that they can be aligned with MAW billing and with CalAIM, right? So anyways, I'm hoping that you can integrate that somehow into your plan so that
Councilmember Arenas, I do want to add that Angel and I had a conversation with the county a couple of weeks ago, and you're right, there's a lot of potential state funding coming through the county, and as a partner around CAST, there's also an opportunity for us to be able to leverage those fundings, and the county has made that very clear that as we continue to build CAST, right, this single system of support, that there are opportunities to leverage those funding sources.
So through CAST.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Well, that is really wonderful. And by the way, I saw some of the team members from CAST on Friday at the Somos Mayfair 25-year anniversary celebration, and they were just really excited and shared some wonderful news about how the community is responding. And so it just was really wonderful to see this all, coming into it's not full circle just yet, but just really laying out this foundation for us to continue to move the work. But it's not without any work. And I know both you and Angel have been doing some just intense conversations and collaboration and partnership that is going to lay out a really successful path for us to make this a reality for our children and to have this ultimately generational change and opportunities for our kiddos that is meant in a very meaningful way. I still don't see any hands, and I think the last thing that I was going to ask was about the promotoras and that we've hired through, I think it's the Office of Economic Development, because they are part of the recovery, but I think that they're also integrated into the community, or at least they're talking with folks in the community. How are we going to leverage the promotoras or integrate them into this information gathering phase?
Yes, council member, I do know that they have promotoras involved with the COVID-19 Community Economic Recovery Task Force work. I definitely think that there's opportunities there. As you know, again, having come with First Five, we built the promotora model within the family resource centers. And so I'm completely in agreement that that's a great way of engaging families at the group level within their neighborhoods, within their communities. And so I absolutely see that there's value and opportunity to integrate that within the master plan. And ultimately, as we implement the recommendations that come out of the master plan. But I'll also hand it over to Angel, see if he has any other comments around that piece.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. I think Laura answered that adequately. I do think the promotora model really lends itself, that whole approach lends itself to this work. We're taking a really organic and granular approach to this work. Not only do we want to, build kind of a menu of easily accessible programs and options for children, youth, and their families, but what we also want to do is do this in a way where we're building community. And I think the promotora model really lends itself to that kind of community organizing, community building, neighborhood building approach to kind of tell a friend, bring a friend, educate a friend. And it definitely applies here. And so I see us definitely building that approach into this work as we go forward.
That's wonderful. And I know that you can't list everybody that you're going to talk to, but I certainly hope that we can target some of the areas as you're moving through our communities and asking them for their feedback, that we take special notice of those groups or those neighborhoods that have had in the last 2 years some additional impact or crisis. For example, I know that in Councilmember Esparza's district, there was a couple of shootings and deaths, and in my district there was some shootings. Of course, in Councilmember Carrasco's, I'm going to assume that there's some of that happening as well, unfortunately, because these are just hot spots, right, that we find throughout the city. And so I'm hoping that we pay special attention to those folks. As well as some of those communities that are already engaged with us, like the family friend and neighbor, or those folks participating in the Grail Family Services, et cetera, the Jobs to Grow program. So anyways, I know that you've got a lot to do and a lot in front of you, but let us know how we can help facilitate some of those connections. I'm happy to help. I'm sure my colleagues, I don't want to speak for them, but we have these relationships with our folks, and we want to make sure that their voices are also heard and taken into account while you're collecting this wonderful information. Councilmember Carrasco.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't sure if my connection was there. Thank you so much. I wanted to thank Angel, Laura, the entire team, because this is an unbelievable document, truly an unbelievable document. And some of us have a vision of where we want the city to go, especially as it impacts our residents. But the work that you're doing is truly, for me, as I see it relating to our kiddos, it's phenomenal work. The fact that you're able to bring about all these different partnerships and leverage resources and institutional knowledge, I think we'll see it play out in the way that we impact children's lives. I said it I think it was last week's council meeting regarding the state of affairs of our kids and their future. One of my biggest concerns is whether or not our kiddos are going to be able to stay here and thrive in the city where they were born, where they were raised, in the city that they love. And for me, one of the marked criteria or one of the end products of any sort of program is truly how does it relate to, or how does it change, or how does it impact concretely someone's life. And for our children, what they want is they want upward mobility. They want to be able to buy a house. We keep talking about we keep talking about generational wealth, and how are we going to help and support our students? And when I heard also the statistics in terms of the alarming stats of how many kiddos graduate from our Eastside Union High Schools and end up working in minimum paying jobs, I think it's unacceptable. We're selling them a dream that they can't achieve, that they can't attain, that they can't seem to strive any closer to. If you go to school, this is what will happen. If you get through it, you'll be able to take care of your family. Minimum paying jobs for any one of our kiddos is unsustainable in terms of taking care of their families. So one of the questions that I have is, and we talked about it last week during the Children's Bill of Rights, do we have some place where we're going to be capturing that information are kiddos going on to four-year institutions? And then do they have access to the kind of quality internships that connect them to individuals who are going to support them through their career? Do we have somewhere where we're capturing what their income levels were and where they're growing into? That's one question. And then the second question that I have is, last year when I submitted the document on for a youth development office, the mayor came back with funding for a consultant instead, which is a great start because we're seeing the benefits of it. But is it of your opinion? I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. Is it of your opinion that we should continue to pursue a youth development office, given that we're the only large city in the area that doesn't have one? So those are my two questions.
Councilmember Carrasco, thank you for your question. I can respond to the first question around the college to career. Actually, yesterday in our community advisory meeting, we had a quite of a robust conversation that we are definitely going to explore and discuss further. As you may have seen in our community advisory list, we have Evergreen Valley College, San Jose City College, San Jose State, and UC Santa Cruz participating in our community advisory, as well as Eastside Union High School District, San Jose Unified, Alum Rock School District, Franklin McKinley. But the reason I also bring up the higher education institutions is because they have expressed to us their concern that there aren't sufficient, one, young people coming out of the East Side, transitioning into four-year universities. They often come to a two-year community college, but then have to drop out for various reasons. But a lot of it seems to stem from just not having the ability to pay their tuition or to focus on education when they're struggling with their basic needs. And so we are going to be talking further with this group of educational leaders. Our consultant is also going to be working closely with County Office of Education and other partners to explore some of the data around high school graduation rates, enrollment to community college, and then transfer rates to higher education, as well as looking at some of the outcomes out of all of that. What is the impact? As you know, there's already considerable research that demonstrates that a young person not obtaining either a vocational training certificate or completing even just an AA, their long-term wage cap is limited. So I'll end with that there, and then I'll have Angel speak on your second question.
Yeah, Councilmember, and just a little bit more on the first part of that question. You know, we really want to tackle the issue of access to economic prosperity head on in this, right? I mean, if we're talking about dismantling poverty cycles and all, and creating opportunity pathways, then we have to address the issue of how do we help facilitate opportunity or access to wealth, right? We've learned from our historical past that regressive policies such as redlining can either interrupt or in most cases, prevent the accumulation of wealth. And that has had a very adverse impact on many of our neighborhoods here in our own city, right? And although we can't go back and turn back the clock and change that, specifically what we can do is learn from those, bad practices and create new opportunity pathways for our young people. And that's really the intent and really the spirit behind this plan, is to create those pathways so that, these cycles of poverty can truly be dismantled and replaced with access to opportunity and prosperity. Having said that, segueing to the next part of your question, last week there was a blue memo by Chair Arenas and her and other colleagues, and we are looking at the structure of this work going forward. And so we will be developing an MBA that will take a look at different structures that would include possible an office of or some other type of structure. What we're especially looking at is how do we keep this work going, right? The current resources that we received short term, and again, thank you for the budget proposal that you put forward about 2 years ago, gave us 2-year end dated resources to basically start and develop and advance this work. That's end dated through June of 2023. So I think this MBA will be a perfect opportunity for us to kind of really assess and evaluate what the right structure, what the right staffing is, and whether or not we should continue this work. But just judging by the momentum in the community, judging by the leaning forward and leaning in of all our many partners, I think there's clear indication that we're onto something here that really needs to continue.
Chair, that's it for me, but I just want to thank the team again. I want to thank really the leadership of Laura, Angel, the conversations that we've engaged in, even when we just have one-on-ones, have been promising. And I know that there's a lot of work ahead. I'm sorry that I won't see it to fruition because I'll be done in December. But I'm so encouraged by the fact that this beginning and so far the work that's been done, it's exciting. I think it's exciting, and I think also it serves as a great model for other jurisdictions to follow. The partnership, the private-public partnership, the city support, and really looking at and addressing those systemic issues that impact our families, that keep our families. They keep our families in poverty. They keep them in a vicious cycle. And once you're in that cycle, good luck trying to break out of it. It's difficult if you don't have someone who's there leading you through the labyrinth that is life. But good luck breaking the cycle when there are all these odds that are stacked against you. It's not an impossibility, and some folks have done it beautifully, but I'd rather it be the norm versus the exception. And you're setting a course for breaking the cycle of poverty to be the norm versus the exception. So I thank you for that, and I truly thank you for providing these promises and these possibilities for our kids. Thanks, Chair.
Wonderful. Councilmember Esparza. Thanks. I'll be quick. First off, I wanted to thank you, Chair Ennis, for your leadership on this. We have long sought equity for our city, and equity is in so many things and how the city's literally built out, but it's really about providing a better future for our children and our families. And that's where this systemic change is huge. And I wanted to thank all the city folks and all the nonprofit folks for this work, and really also highlight how we knew this was critical before the pandemic, but the pandemic really, really highlighted, it laid stark on how literally life-saving this work is for our families and children. And so anyway, I wanted to say that, and I wanted to thank the team and for including the partners. I did see all the K through 12 as well as the higher educational partners and the opportunity. I know that the San Jose City Evergreen is embarking on some equity work and wanting to go out into neighborhoods, high needs neighborhoods, to partner and create more of a pipeline to higher education. But I also wanted to ask folks, as I go out to the schools in my district, and I'm sure my colleagues are seeing this as they go out, one of the things that I have heard consistently, even during the pandemic, but it has, as things have opened up, as the school year started, I've been hearing the kids are not all right. The kids are not okay. At some really alarming rates. And so my question is, as we move forward on this work, how are we developing a sort of triage so that we are able to create these pipelines, to build out the system, but really put in some level of triage so that we can address some really crisis issues around mental health and stability for children and families right now.
Councilmember Esparza, thank you for your question. That's exactly what we are working on through CAS, the Cross Agency Services team that is being led by the county, is one approach. There are different system leaders in that partnership. And so the goal is for us to be able to do exactly that. Our dream would be that if we have a young person who's participating in a summer camp at Mayfair Community Center or Roosevelt, and staff identify, or the child themselves or their family identify that they need access to mental health services or housing support, that we will have staff available that can triage them, but in a way that actually connects the families to the support and resources. It doesn't mean handing them a piece of paper and wishing them good luck on their journey to access those services, but actually linking them directly to a provider, to an agency that can support them through that process. The other way that we're exploring this is also connecting with schooling services, the wellness centers through the County Office of Education, as well as the health and hospital system. They're also part of our advisory membership, and we also have had some preliminary conversations about how do we strengthen those partnerships. They have access to supports and resources, funding, that can also, again, provide those supports to staff when they need it, to assist families, and then also to the community members that they serve, whether it's through Project Hope or the Mayor's Gang Task Force or the Youth Intervention Services. So those are the pieces of work that we're trying to lay out in parallel process of developing the Children and Youth Services Master Plan.
Thank you. And I love that no wrong door approach. I think it's definitely needed. And it has been really interesting to see schooling services, which I think we've all been working on that for many years. But again, the pandemic accelerated that, right? And provided a lot of funding in addition to the other partner funding towards that. One of the things I'll leave on a positive note, which is one of the things I've been heartened by as I've gone out to the schools, is if you provide it, they will come. They will take advantage of every single opportunity, every single after school program, every single, health benefit. People want it, they need it, they want it, and that's a big deal because as we provide it on our end, and by that I mean the community, all of us together, I do see that after school programs are full, right? All the extra all the services that we offer, the mental health, like we can't keep up with that. Excuse me. But I do think, that's really amazing that people will do it, and we just have to connect them to it. So I'm heartened by that, and heartened by that it's not sort of a cold handshake that we're doing that. We're actually connecting them to services and to placements. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you. I think this is one of the most critical things that we can do as a city. Thank you. And I'll move to accept the report.
Wonderful. Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Awesome. And Councilmember Carrasco, that hand that's raised, that's from before, I'm going to guess.
It is. I'm trying to put it down. I'm sorry. I
No, that's okay. I love it because this is such an exciting item. It's so exciting. This is as policymakers, I think for the folks who we've been working on around this is when policy meets wonderful and amazing public administration, right? And this is how it should be. I think that if people and agencies are leaning in, Angel and Laura, it's really because you've established such a really wonderful reputation in your field, and they're leaning in because this is something that they probably have been thinking about themselves and just are not able to do. And so I love this work. I'm really excited about it. I'm so proud of what you are all doing out there on behalf of our children and our youth. And I can't wait to see this continuum of services that's really ultimately going to make changes, real critical changes in the lives of our youth. So
Thank you, Council Member. I want to just say a heartfelt thank you to NSC for all the council members for your continued leadership and support and guidance as we develop the Children Youth Services Master Plan.
oh, well, you're welcome. We're here to give so much advice. All right, so I think we have a motion and a second. Let's go ahead and vote.
Cohen?
Aye.
Esparza?
Yes.
Carrasco?
Aye.
Arenas?
Yes.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So this takes us to our last and third item. And this is for those folks who are following us from home or at home. This is the Beautify, this is D3, and this is Beautify San Jose Neighborhood Blight Reduction Status Report. Please welcome, and whenever you're ready, please begin your presentation.
Thank you, Councilmember Arenas. This is Andrea Flores-Shelton, Deputy Director with PRNS, and I am pleased to be here with Olympia Williams, the Beautify SJ Division Manager. And in the audience, we have our Neighborhood Blight Reduction team leaders, Ed Ramirez and Xochitl Montes. I want to start with reminding you all that last fiscal year, PRNS added a new division, which encompasses Beautify SJ, Project Hope, and Youth Services, Youth Intervention Services into the Community Services Division. The growth of the BSJ program was primarily due to the transfer of the Rapid Illegal Dumping Team from ESD to PRNS, as well as the new Encampment Management Services. Today's report will primarily and will only be about the neighborhood blight reduction side of the Beautify SJ house. So we will be focusing on graffiti removal, litter removal, and our illegal dumping. The encampment management portion and anything related to homeless encampments will be covered in November at the November 29th council meeting. So just a reminder, today's Beautify SJ annual report is about the neighborhood blight reduction services. And before I turn it over to Olympia to talk about the accomplishments of those programs and services, I did want to give an update about the current status of the Beautify SJ grants. We're in the middle of, we're towards the end of cycle 4, and due to an influx of American Rescue Plan dollars, cycle 4 is larger than cycle 3 and will be larger than cycle 5. But that $352,000 has been awarded to 84 neighborhood groups and accounted for 429 activities. So we're very happy that that influx of ARP dollars has allowed us to do more Beautify SJ grants. Right now, cycle 5 is open, and we encourage neighborhood groups to apply before the deadline of November 3rd. Cycle 5, which is a calendar year cycle for 2023, there will be $189,000 available for that cycle. So just a little update on grants. Now I'll turn it over to Olympia Williams.
Good afternoon, council members. I'm Olympia Williams, Beautify SJ Division Manager. The Neighborhood Blight Reduction Programs focus on working with residents, businesses, volunteers, and neighborhoods to address blight issues. There are several accomplishments that I would like to share with you from the last fiscal year. First, the graffiti removal program responded to 27,000 service requests, leading to the abatement of over 2.5 million square feet of graffiti within the city's jurisdiction. Second, 4,000 volunteers donated over 15,000 service hours. These hours are invaluable to the program. As many of you know, a volunteer hour in California is valued at $29.95 per hour. Third, staff was finally able to return to school campuses and have engaged with over 2,200 students on the impacts that trash has to our environment. Our Beautify SJ programs collected 9.2 million pounds of trash, or 4,595 tons, from our neighborhoods, encampments, streets, sidewalks, and along our waterways. 4.5 million pounds of this debris was illegally dumped materials. The pictures on the slide illustrates the type of dump sites the team often comes across. The Neighborhood Dumpster Day program increased services by 300% since 2019, collecting about 1.8 million pounds of trash last year. And as always, I like to remind residents about our free junk pickup program. It's unlimited now, and to participate in Neighborhood Dumpster Days and use our public litter cans. It truly makes a difference. While Beautify SJ and other city departments work to provide direct services to address blight within the city's jurisdiction, we know that there is oftentimes litter, trash, and graffiti located in San Jose, but not within the city's jurisdiction. Beautify SJ works collaboratively with our interagency partners to address these types of issues located on their property. Last fiscal year, an interagency team was added to Beautify SJ, which allows for close coordination and collaboration with key partners to respond to and proactively address blight. For example, the photo on the slide shows volunteers that help Beautify SJ, Valley Transportation Authority, and Caltrans with a coordinated volunteer cleanup on the McKee Road off-ramp location. Some of the work that we do with our partners includes meeting with Caltrans every 2 weeks to address high-priority areas that need cleanup, coordinating cleanup efforts with Union Pacific Railroad to address trash, graffiti, and encampments on their property, providing grants to 3 of our creek partners who really work to coordinate volunteer events to address trash and debris located near our waterways, and city funding for 2 of our nonprofit partners, San Jose Conservation Corps and Goodwill Industries. They provide job skills development and training to individuals. Participants in these programs focus on helping to clean our city's public spaces. While the new Beautify SJ program structure has been more efficient in addressing blight, the program has an opportunity to increase in effectiveness by utilizing a comprehensive 3 E's approach that includes education, eradication, and enforcement. This best practice model is used by several large cities within the state of California and throughout the nation to combat blight and improve neighborhood livability and quality of life. Some of the cities and counties that use this approach are located on the slide. In the 3 E's model, the education component helps to reduce blight by educating residents on how to properly dispose of unwanted items and would therefore reduce the need for increased eradication efforts. The enforcement component really serves to also help reduce the need for eradication by holding those that do illegal dumping or graffiti accountable for their actions. This model uses a more balanced approach to delivering blight reduction and beautification services. Currently, 99.1% of all budgeted funds for Beautify SJ are directed towards eradication. To put it simply, we have mastered the processes for picking up trash and painting over graffiti. Currently, only 1% of the Beautify SJ budget is dedicated towards education and outreach. In the current fiscal year, the program has some one-time funding in the amount of $200,000 to support a multilingual outreach and education campaign. We will use these funds to both educate residents on how to access services and what they can do to help support blight reduction efforts. The plan will also be balanced, ensuring that we use both high tech, think about digital media and ads, and high touch, including printed materials, resource fairs, and school presentations to engage with residents throughout the city. To reduce illegal dumping and the impacts of graffiti, we will need ongoing funding to support the education efforts. Beautify SJ will be submitting a budget proposal to continue these efforts in the next fiscal year. In terms of eradication, 99% of the budget is dedicated here. Our eradication only model will not achieve the program outcome of a cleaner city. There are still challenges that we have, even though we're putting 99% of our budget here. There's more graffiti on private property, including businesses and residential property, and there's been increased dumping in areas throughout the city, especially in areas that were once immune from this. In terms of enforcement, Beautify SJ has no dedicated resources for enforcement assigned to the program. However, the city overall does have limited resources in code and SJPD to support Beautify SJ. For example, the illegal dumping program, we have 5 cameras that we use to record illegal dumpers and then coordinate with code to address that. As always, I like to remind people to use the report dumpers email address that you see on the slide to send in any photos or video of people illegally dumping. Code enforcement does issue citations for illegal dumping. Since 2016, the city has received over $119,000 in funds for citations issued. So what can we do in San Jose to begin the process to implement the 3 E's approach? Moving forward, Beautify SJ will pilot a strategy, Better Blocks with Beautify SJ, to test the 3 E's approach in a neighborhood impacted by blight. We will then use the data collected to inform how we can use a phased approach to implement the 3 E's citywide and also inform our long-term outcome measures for the program. Currently, we are assessing data to select a neighborhood impacted by blight for this project. We could not do this work without our many partners, including neighborhood association, nonprofit partners, interagency partners, city departments, the mayor and council offices, and many others. Thank you for your time today. Myself and Andrea Flores Shelton are available for questions.
Thank you for the presentation. We're going to go to the public comment before we move on to my council colleagues.
There are currently no hands up.
Perfect. Okay, so we will hear from Councilmember Esparza. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I'll just jump in. So I had some questions on the education and outreach. Do we have areas of focus? Are we focusing on overcrowded areas, dense apartment buildings to do that? And then how are we translating blight? I know it's been a big issue on how to talk about blight in different languages.
Definitely. So I'll start with the second question first. So when we do all of our outreach and education materials, we don't use blight. We actually describe what the problem is. We'd say graffiti. It's a, if it's an inoperable car, we won't use that. We'll say a car that doesn't run. If it's trash, we usually say trash and not debris, so we can make the information as accessible as possible. And then to your first question, yes, we'll be focusing our education and outreach efforts on those areas most impacted by blight, really honed in on areas of illegal dumping and graffiti. Unfortunately, they do tend to be our multifamily communities, and oftentimes we have a lot of apartment complexes.
Thank you. And then, so you went right into it. So one of the things that we've seen out in the community, particularly in very dense, overcrowded areas, is sort of an issue with big item pickups, right? So if somebody, if you have the ability, if a resident has the ability and the space to be able to put out a couch or a mattress or equipment. I mean, there's all sorts of crazy stuff I've seen on the street, and put something out and then call ESD for a pickup. They're told it could be 3 weeks. But if they put it out in the street, it gets picked up much quicker. How are we coordinating between ESD for those big item pickups?
Councilmember Esparza, this is Andrea. Thank you. So in working with ESD, the approach for free junk pickup is that it should be picked up at your next garbage day or at some time within the week. When it comes to our illegal dumping and something reported within 311, our time frame is within 5 business days. So we are, what I see and what I'm hoping that we're not doing is incentivizing illegal dumping, right? We
That's
don't
my
wanna-
point. Yeah.
Yeah, that we don't want to incentivize that illegal dumping will come faster than the free junk pickup program. So we're working with ESD to ensure that it's tied to their regular garbage day and that it is as easy to reach out to and that it's as responsive as possible.
Okay. And, you know, and I see it most in, again, those dense areas where people don't have the ability to, or the space to put something out and let it sit. And so, yeah, I hope we can figure that out, because otherwise we will incentivize people because they really don't have an alternative. And in not every neighborhood or, you know, but in many places where I see it over and over again, you know, I walk around, we talk to folks, and it's like, yeah, I can see their point of view is how are they going to handle that when they're moving out or something like that. And so the second question that I had was, because I'm just working through the report, was anti-litter, that we've seen an increase in folks going out. I just want to say thank you. Actually, thank you to the entire team. I know District 7, we make use of it and of every aspect of your work. And I just want to thank the entire team. But anti-litter, the folks have come out, they've done a tremendous amount of outreach, and they've made it very easy for community folks to step in and do that. And as we've opened up since the pandemic, I've been kind of surprised at seeing a lot of community groups come forward and say, yeah, I really, really want to do a litter pickup. And we're happy to accommodate them. I also wanted to thank the Dumpster Day team. In District 7, in the past couple years, we've collected over 1 million pounds since in the past couple years. I have noticed that, again, that it's most needed in overcrowded areas. In my office, we've had to kind of resize so that we don't have enormous bins, and the Dumpster Day takes over a whole neighborhood. So we've actually divided neighborhoods, and it is in those same thing, right? It's those overcrowded neighborhoods where we let people know they can come out, and they don't really have alternative means to do that. I did want to give some feedback, as we are starting to see some decreases in neighborhoods, in the number of bins, which is great. That's great. And so I just wanted to share that. And the whole team is wonderful to work with. And lastly, wanted to offer some feedback on graffiti. In District 7, we found the murals to be really effective in reducing graffiti. We had a couple of murals in District 7 lined up in high graffiti areas to do that, and that got pushed back. Can you talk about why that got pushed back?
Yes,
and how we can support, how we can shore that up
Yes, so we work with the Office of Cultural Affairs on that, but during the pandemic, we did have a delay in installing the murals. But we have found that this time we're working closely with Michael Ogilvy and his team, and we've started to go out, assess the sites. They've started to secure artists and go through that process. And the graffiti team has started to get the sites where the murals will go prepped and prepared so that we can move forward with the next step. What I will do is connect the two with him with your staff so then he can give an update specifically on District 7.
Yeah, and I know that some of the items that we buy for the year have a shelf life, right? So I just want to make sure that we're shoring up the needs so that we don't have, you know, folks that maybe don't deal with graffiti as much as others. Graffiti can, eradicating graffiti can be a life-saving effort, right? You can see when certain hotspot areas, things are tagging in a way that can be a precursor to violence. And so it's not just that it's an eyesore. This is really important, which is enough, but this is really important work. And excuse me, I don't have COVID. Sorry, you guys. Lastly, I lost my train of thought. Well, with that, I'll go ahead and move to accept the report and cross-reference it to, I think it's November 15th. Yes, November 15th.
Second.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and vote.
Cohen,
Aye.
Esparza,
Yes.
Carrasco,
Aye.
Arenas.
Aye.
Thank you.
Well, that was the last item on our agenda. The last item under D. And now we're in open forum, so we're going to hear from our public.
Blair Beekman.
Hi, Blair Beekman here. Thanks for the meeting today. It was interesting and informative. I hope that I can, my Zoom link, it jammed out on me on the last item. If it's okay, can I speak for 1 minute or less? I can take 30 seconds just to quickly go over, just to thank you for the previous item, and that the concepts of, a blight are, it's a balance that I hope we're practicing, good human rights practices and want to offer a human element to the process. You had an AI report about a month ago on the subject, at a committee meeting about the future of homeless issues, and it needs an element of humanity to it, that we have to practice our human good selves in this work. So good luck with that. Good luck that you have 5 cameras in the area for garbage issues, and that those cameras can practice open accountability practices. Those cameras have been an issue for a long time in San Jose. They've been a little bit of a buggeroo in how to deal with open public policy practices. Good luck how those cameras are working. And to finally conclude my public comment today, good luck how we can address encampment issues in terms of city-sponsored encampments. Hopefully the Blight Department, the Beautify Department will want to look into how to address that better. And I think that's a subject I hope we can be talking about more in San Jose now and in the coming months, and how nonprofits can help in the city-sponsored process of a future encampment process that I think could be helpful for all of us. Thanks a lot for your patience allowing me to speak at this time of public comment time on these subjects.
Caller ending in 1367.
Yes, I just want to comment on Ms. Carrasco leaving at the end of the year. I really appreciated listening to everything you've been saying over the last couple of years during and after COVID. You are an amazing person. You have a pulse on your community, and it's a real shame that you're leaving. And also to Mr. Beekman, who represented the people in the community that have disabilities. Even though, he spoke at every single council meeting, and I mean, he just went on and on and on, and I appreciate him also, and he is also, I heard, leaving to San Diego. So thank you so very much for both of your comments and participating in everything in your neighborhoods. I appreciate it.
Back to the committee. Chair, you're muted.
I think I pushed it too many times that I kept muting myself. So thank you all for taking the time to be with us today. And thank you to all of our presenters for such wonderful presentations and just wonderful work behind those presentations. I'm going to adjourn this meeting and good luck the rest of your day, and we'll see you next month. Bye, everyone.